Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense, making sense out of the senseless. Only on SHR Media, conservative media done right. The show where propaganda gets crushed, deep state hacks get dragged into the sunlight, and America First truth scorches the narrative like a flamethrower at a woke film festival. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and tonight we're breaking through every lie they've used to gaslight this nation into silence. We begin tonight with a rare admission from inside the system. The Department of Homeland Security has called out the mainstream media for deliberately lying about the Texas floods. That information didn't just skew the headlines, it's endangered lives. Hey, come on, damn mouse. Don't you hate when you got to argue with your computer? I don't know why that's not doing that. But then, CIA legacy man John Brennan may finally be facing the music. After years of spinning the Russia hoax, a review by director Radcliffe points to a seriously perjury problem. And maybe, just maybe, the first crack in the deep state's armor. And in a moment that shows why there's only one alpha in America First, Trump publicly shuts down Elon Musk rumored political ambitions. One billionaire dreams of influence, the other already wields it. And that's not all. The resistance is running on fumes. Democrat lies about Trump's tax plans are falling apart. Superman going woke. And the American people, they're done being gaslit by polished phonies and pop culture lecturing. This is the front line for the fight for reality, and we're holding the line. But before we go any further, hit that like button, smash the subscribe, and share this stream like your freedom depends on it, because it just might. Every click helps us punch through the big tech censorship, drowns out the media noise, and makes sure common sense has a fighting chance. This is the Reaver of Common Sense, where the truth lives and the nonsense dies screaming. Now, before we get on with all the segments that I actually had set up for today, I don't know why this isn't coming up. For some reason, my Facebook feed didn't pop up, and it's pissing me off. I don't know why. I'll have to deal. But what I found, all right, we all know that the big, beautiful bill passed, and part of it was defunding of Planned Parenthood. A judge has blocked the defunding in the mega bill. A judge has blocked funding in a budget reconciliation bill. Does that scare anybody that now judges are deciding what we fund, who we fund, and how we fund it? Never really gave an answer why he's blocking it. And as I said, a federal judge on Monday granted Planned Parenthood request to temporarily halt Medicaid funding cuts to the group's healthcare center under a provision of a Republican new tax and spending package. U.S. District Judge ruling marks the first known instance of a federal judge limiting enforcement of any part of the big, beautiful bill, which Donald Trump signed into law Friday. It came just hours after Planned Parenthood sued over the that's all, folks. Provision that imposes a 1-year ban on state Medicaid payments to healthcare nonprofits that also offer abortion and receive more than $800,000 in federal funding in 2023. Now, let's also remember, Planned Parenthood has enough money that it donates to Democrat lawmakers for their election. Think about that. Yes, Mike, this judge has majorly overstepped his bound. I've tried to keep out of the issues with the judges and these rulings, but this one is going too far. Because guess who appointed this judge? Can anybody guess? Obama. This is a law that was put in a budget that was approved by Congress, whether Democrats fucking like it or not. And now they're going to go to the lawfare. This is getting ridiculous. Maybe hopefully I'd have more on it for Friday's show. I can't guarantee. Now for the big segment of today's show. Texas is mourning after devastating flash floods claim lives, including children. But while families grieve and communities begin the long road to recovery, the media is already rewriting history. Legacy networks, Democrat mouthpieces, and elected officials have launched a full-blown campaign to blame the Trump administration for the tragedy. Their claim that budget cuts crippled forecasting, that the government was caught off guard, that no one saw it coming. That narrative isn't just false, it is disgraceful. Because while the media was scripting its next anti-Trump hit piece, the National Weather Service was doing its job. And we have the receipts. Now let's walk through the unedited timeline direct from the National Weather Service. July 3rd, in the AM, the National Water Center's flood hazard outlook warned of expanding flash flood potential, specifically including Kerrville and surrounding areas. 1:18 p.m. Central Time on July 3rd. A flood watch was issued by the NWS, Austin, San Antonio, covering the exact region later hit. 6:10 p.m. to 7:20 p.m., the Weather Prediction Center issued 3 mesoscale precipitation discussions flagging the threat for excessive rainfall and potential flash flooding. Yeah, I don't know where he is today, Mike. (6:22 p.m.) Area hydraulic discussion number 144 called for local consideration or considerable flood warning, naming Kerrville directly. 11:41 p.m. a flash flood warning was issued for Bandera. Oh, I'm probably butchering these names too. Everybody that watches the show knows I butcher names. But the Bandera County. 1:14 a.m. July 4th, the first considerable flash flood warning was issued for both counties, triggering wireless emergency alerts and NOAA weather radio broadcast. 4:03 a.m. That warning was upgraded to a flash flood emergency for South Central Kerr County, including Hunt. 4:35 a.m. the Kerr County Sheriff's Office began receiving flood reports, meaning residents had over 3 hours of warning. 5 a.m. the National Water Center's latest outlook upgraded the threat to considerable and catastrophic. 5:34 a.m. flash flood emergency issued for the Guadalupe River. Doesn't seem like a lot of failure to me. This was not a surprise. This was not a system failure. This was a textbook example of federal agencies doing their jobs. The NWF officials did not just sound the alarm, they staffed up. In one of their offices, responded to Austin, San Antonio, and the Hill County, had up to 5 forecasters on duty, more than double the typical crew. They overstaffed it for the event. There were extra people in here that night, quote unquote, said NWS meteorologist Jason Runyon. That's typical in every weather service office. You staff up for an event, bring people in on overtime, and hold people over. Now, I don't know where they are tonight, guys. I was about to say the Phantom's not here, but as I'm about to say it, she pops in. But I want to thank Mike, Canada Heavy Hall, and the Phantom for being in chat. And a reminder, if you want to join the conversation, just jump on YouTube and join the live conversation. But this wasn't a skeleton crew missing warnings. It was all hands on deck. And DHS, FEMA, already mobilized. Boats, choppers, rescue teams, all in position before the first major call for help came in. So where did the system actually break down? Local infrastructure. At a press briefing, Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly dropped a bombshell. The county did not have an early warning system or an outdoor siren to alert people to flooding conditions. Let that sink in. The federal alerts were issued hours in advance, but Kerr County had no system in place to pass that warning to the public. And why? Quote, "We looked into it before. The public reeled at the cost," unquote, Kelly admitted. Transition, the county skipped life-saving infrastructure because it was too expensive. And we had kids that paid the price. And yet the media still has the audacity to blame Trump. Schumer was out there today blaming Trump for this, calling for investigations. It is sickening. It's disgusting. And they say federal cuts were the problem, but the NWS forecast was spot on. The alerts were set in real time. The warnings went out early. The emergency message hit mobile phones and NOAA radio instantly. This wasn't a failure of funding. It was a failure of local execution and a failure of the media to report the truth. I understand the county with the funding they had. I don't agree with the choices they made. I understand, though, they made the choices. But what disturbs me so badly is the Democrats and the mainstream media are so set on destroying Trump that they would endanger lives with these lies. Think about that. They're out there. And how many people buy into the immediate lie that they tell? That's why I try, whenever the Democrats come out and say anything, I'm going to wait. For too many times over the last, 10, 15 years, since, even before, but so badly since Trump's come out, the lies that they tell, and then come to find out, it's all fucking lies. And the media in the background goes, it was budget. They don't come out as loudly as they do when they blame Trump. U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem summed it up. It was difficult for forecasters to predict just how much rain would fall. The Trump administration will prioritize upgrading National Weather Service's technology used to deliver warnings. So let's get this straight. The Trump administration is already working to enhance forecasting techniques. The federal warning system did its job. The local county failed to install sirens, and the media ignores that. Why? Because it was never about saving lives. It's about weaponizing tragedy to smear President Trump. The media chooses political optics over public safety. They ignore timestamp warnings, mock coordinated efforts, and bury DHS briefings. They didn't miss the story. They hid the real story. And that cost lives. This wasn't just dishonest. It was deadly. How many people are tired of this? Hey, Sackhead Sean finally showed up. What's going on? I am between that judge now blocking defunding Planned Parenthood, which I'm trying to figure out, as Mike Lee was saying, if it's a constitutional issue, where's the constitutional problem? There's no in the Constitution that says these businesses are obligated to get funded by taxpayer money. You want to talk entitlement that Democrats are always talking about? That's screaming you in the face right there. Now we have Democrats out there using another tragedy and lies to try and score political points. What do we have to do in this country to stop this? Not a call for violence, not asking for violence. I'm asking for solutions. Let me know at Jersey Joe Talks on X. It's getting out of control. And the next segment is just going to blow your mind, people.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Ever dream of escaping the daily grind? At Escapist Travel and Tours, we make those dreams your reality. From breathtaking adventures to cultural immersions, we offer escapes tailored just for you. Let us take you to places where every moment feels like a new chapter in your life's adventure. Visit www.escapist.travel or call us today at 1-855-885-81776. Your escape awaits.
Attention, all patriotic women of faith. Yep, I'm talking to you, sis. Are you looking for high-quality, super soft apparel that reflects your love for country and your devotion to God? Look no further than Carry Girl Gear. Picture this. You rocking a tee so soft it's like being hugged by a cloud, all while showing off your love for God and country. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, welcome to reality, babes, because that's what we're all about here at Carry Girl Gear. We specialize in super soft tees, tanks, and more, designed specifically for the strong, patriotic woman who proudly wants to carry their message of faith and freedom. When you shop with us, you're not just getting a t-shirt. You're joining a community of like-minded women who are proud to wear their beliefs straight on their tees. So whether you're sipping sweet tea on the porch or leading the charge for faith and freedom, do it in a Carry Girl tee. Because life's too short for stiff, boring tees. carrygirl.com, where faith and freedom meets fashion.
Come listen to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show. Live on select and exclusive Tuesday and Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Rumble channel, SHR Media YouTube channel, X, Twitch, Spreaker, and wherever great conservative podcasts are found. BZ, your conservative Sherpa, guides you through the maelstrom of Democrat, leftist, and globalist lies, chaos, deceit, and betrayal. Raised as a free-range child with dirt, stains, mud, and freedom, BZ broadcasts from North Idaho, comfortably surrounded by actual normal people. Jump into our plush, sumptuous, palatial, and resplendent chat room on rumble.com. Click on live chat to join. Now, with 37% more umbrage and 19% more bulbosity than previous shows, featuring delicious Liberty additives for the best in late-night conservatarian talk radio. BZ reminds you that with great beard comes great responsibility. No chinchillas were harmed, embarrassed, fat-shamed, or the focus of any sarcasm whatsoever in the making of this ad.
What is the Edge of Liberty? News, politics, commentary, sarcasm, alcohol, and high blood pressure. It's as American as a good revolution. So tune in every Monday and Friday at 12 Pacific, 3 p.m. on the East Coast on the SHR Media Network and KLRN Radio. For details, visit www.shrmedia.com.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Jonah, here to make sense out of the senseless. But remember, before we go any further, hit that like button, smash the subscribe, and share the stream like your freedom depends on it, because it just might. Every click helps us punch through big tech censorship, drowns out the media noise, and makes sure common sense has a fighting chance. This is the Reaver of Common Sense, where truth lives and the nonsense dies screaming. Yeah, I noticed that, Sean. I don't know why. It says on Talk Studio it's up and running. Trust me, I'm not happy about it. I've been looking at it nonstop. I got an article up on shrmedia.com, and I suggest everybody go read it. I should have thrown it into this segment, but I didn't. But I think I'm going to. So basically, I'm just going to read the article real quick, and it's when the voters don't work, they threaten blood. Democrats admit their base is ready for violence. Yes, you heard me right. Democrats are calling for violence. Surprise, surprise. The mask is off and it's stained with desperation. According to a bombshell report from Axio, Democrat lawmakers are now openly admitting that their own base is threatening political violence in response to their inability to stop Donald Trump. Not protests, not civil disobedience, blood in the streets. Our base is broken, one Democrat member of Congress confessed. Now, most of the Congress people in this article wanted to remain anonymous. There is one that gave his name, but another quote that came from a Democrat member of Congress, they're talking about blood. This is no longer the fever dreams of a fringe activist or a keyboard warrior in an anonymous chat room. This is elected officials sounding an alarm, not about right-wing extremism, but their own voters. The same party that has spent years accusing Trump supporters of being insurrectionists, domestic terrorists, and threats to democracy is now admitting their side is the one on the verge of violence. And they're not condemning it. They're rationalizing it. The report justification, a growing belief among Democrat voters that the system has failed them. That Trump, despite the media campaigns, the indictments, the lawfare, the censorships, keeps winning. The courts won't stop him. The Supreme Court won't block him. The people won't reject him. So what's left, according to Democrat lawmakers? Violence. This is the end game of fear politics. For years, the Democrat parties and its media allies, and I'm talking Schumer, AOC, Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, they've all pushed this. And the media have pushed an apocalyptic narrative. Trump is literally Hitler. Every election is the last one. The GOP is dismantling democracy. It's a constitutional crisis. The courts are illegitimate. The system is rigged. And now, after pouring that poison into their base for nearly a decade, they're shocked. Yes, and we will put people in camps. They will need to go into re-education camps if they don't vote for a Democrat. They're shocked. And that's the big part. They're shocked that their voters are ready to burn the house down when they don't get their way. Is this America or a temper tantrum? This isn't a bug. This is logical results of the propaganda they built. You could tell your supporters they're in a life and death struggle for the soul of the nation. Excuse me, you can't tell your supporters they're in a life and death struggle for the soul of the nation and then expect them to calmly accept defeat. You told them Trump was a dictator. You told them every loss was stolen. You told them compromise was treason. And now they believe you. Imagine if the roles were reversed. Let's play the game the media loves so much. Flip the script. Imagine if a Republican senator went on the record and said, our base is so angry about Biden staying on the ballot, they're talking about blood. The headlines would explode. CNN would declare it the rise of domestic terrorism. The DOJ would launch investigations. Big tech would deplatform anyone discussing it. Trump supporters would be branded a threat to national security. But when it's Democrats, silence. Because when the left threatens violence, it's not insurrection, it's trauma. It's not terroristic, it's understandable frustration. It's not dangerous, it's righteous anger. That's the double standard, and it's killing public trust in our institutions. Trump isn't the threat. He's the excuse. The dirty little secret in D.C. is that Trump is not the problem. He's the mirror. He's exposing the rot. He's revealing the truth. And the left can't stand it. Because every time Trump survives another attack, walks out of another courtroom, or gains another point in the polls, it reminds them that their hold on power is slipping. And let's get something. You have Democrats that he's got the lowest approval rating. Look at that. He's got an approval rating that's in the 40s. You also got the idiots. Oh, he's got an 80 to 90% on approval rate. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. But you know who has a 19% approval rating? The Democrat Party. Now, let me give a little warning. Again, it's not a threat. It's a warning. The people that are calling for the violence are the ones that hate guns and don't own guns and don't think anybody should own guns. And they're threatening the people that have defensive capabilities. Think about that. This is how insane they are of late. How stupid is it to be unarmed and then threaten people? I don't want to see any bloodshed. I'll go with Thomas Paine, and I'm probably going to butcher his quote. Actually, let me look it up because I don't want to butcher it and then get. All right. I prefer peace, but if trouble must come, let it come in my time so that my children can live in peace. And the problem is my time is getting behind me, and it's now the time of my daughter. And I don't want to see violence for her. I want to see peace. I miss the country I grew up in. There was political difference. There was arguments. Not to the scale that we have right now. The left are so hungry for power. They're willing to cause violence. How can you trust a party that openly and willingly pushes this? And all I ever hear back, January 6th. And now that's the legal tricks, the January 6th fear-mongering, and the media control all failed. What's left? Threats. They tried to beat Trump up with ballots. They tried to beat him with prosecutors. They tried to assassinate him twice. Now they're threatening violence. Not from the right. Not from militias, from Democrat voters. Let that sink in. The same people who preach democracy are ready to torch it if they lose again. The same people who scream insurrection are now justifying civil unrest. The same people who weaponize fear are now being devoured by it. This just isn't hypocrisy. It's a confession. And it's dangerous because unlike MAGA voters who show up to vote, to volunteer, to campaign, the left is now publicly entertaining chaos as a strategy. So remember this the next time they lecture you about unity, civility, and threats to democracy. They are the ones who said it. They are the ones who warranted blood. And they are the ones who will own what comes next. You can find that article on shrmedia.com. Any good burgers or just plain burgers? Again, I want to thank everybody that's in chat. I appreciate you so much. It means a lot to have you guys here. And yes, Sean's right. There has been isolated incidents of violence and horrible incidents throughout the history of our country. But the encouragement from the political parties is what scares me. And how much you want to make a bet? I get dinged for that either through YouTube or TikTok or any other platforms I stream to because they're going, oh, he's calling for violence. I'm not calling for violence at all. I don't want violence. I can't stomach thinking that something would happen to my daughter. My best friend's kids, you know. That's not what I want. I want peace. I want discussion. If you go to my X feed, I try not anymore to argue. I try not to even answer the vile comments that are thrown towards my way for my opinion. And I've had several discussions with people, and they've even thanked me because they're tired of it. There is this fringe section of the country that has been weaponized by the Democrat Party. And we need to stop it. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. We need to stop it. This country is too important to this world to allow this to continue to go on? I don't have the answers for it either. I wish I did. Let's see if I can grab a quick segment. Woke Superman. Yep. The Superman has gone political. Director James Gunn says the upcoming Superman reboot will tackle politics. And if you're a jerk, you can, quote, screw off. That's what the director said. You can screw off. If you want to be a jerk and disagree with him, you can screw off. That's right. The guys rebooting America's most iconic superhero wants you to know it's not about truth, justice, and the America way. It's about feelings and finger wagging. Superman, once symbol of bold masculinity, responsibility, and national pride, is being reduced to a talking point wrapped in a cape. The film is being pitched as a story of kindness in the face of cynicism. Sounds nice until you realize what Hollywood now defines as kindness is parroting progressive dogma and moralizing from the perch of an imagined superiority. If you challenge the message, you're not just a critic. You're labeled a villain. That's not storytelling. That's indoctrination. Instead of Clark Kent standing for classic American ideals, bravery, sacrifice, moral clarity, we're being promised emotional speeches, identity politics, and a script written more for Twitter than truth. Gunn has made it clear this isn't the Superman your father respected. This is a Silverman for the blue check mob. We'll dig into the trailer leaks, the behind-the-scene woke pressure on the studio, and how Warner Brothers is trying to spin the backlash as a badge of honor. They think they're being brave, but let's face it, they're recycling the same progressive propaganda that's already tanked a dozen franchises. What's next? Superman asking Lex Luthor his pronouns before arresting him? Maybe a citywide lecture on climate guilt before stopping a train derailment. Nothing says heroism like nagging citizens into compliance. The left can't help it. They turn every cultural icon into a tool for re-education. That's my phone. And they wonder why their box office numbers keep nosediving. We'll also walk through how this isn't just a bad movie idea. It's a broader pattern of cultural subversion. From Marvel to Disney, from sitcoms to comic books, the left doesn't build heroes. They deconstruct them, strip them of power, and scold the audience for expecting strength over sensitivity. Superman once inspired, now he lectures. And if you don't like it, Gunn says you can screw off. Well, here's the rebuttal. You can screw off too and take your billion-dollar flop with you. The box office will speak louder than any critic and audiences. They're done being preached at in the theater they paid to escape from. Superman used to punch villains. Now he lectures truckers about carbon emissions. Welcome to the progressive multiverse of mediocrity.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Ever dream of escaping the daily grind? At Escapist Travel and Tours, we make those dreams your reality. From breathtaking adventures to cultural immersions, we offer escapes tailored just for you. Let us take you to places where every moment feels like a new chapter in your life's adventure. Visit www.escapist.travel or call us today at 1-855-885-81776. Your escape awaits.
Attention, all patriotic women of faith. Yep, I'm talking to you, sis. Are you looking for high-quality, super soft apparel that reflects your love for country and your devotion to God? Look no further than Carry Girl Gear. Picture this. You rocking a tee so soft it's like being hugged by a cloud, all while showing off your love for God and country. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, welcome to reality, babes, because that's what we're all about here at Carry Girl Gear. We specialize in super soft tees, tanks, and more, designed specifically for the strong, patriotic woman who proudly wants to carry their message of faith and freedom. When you shop with us, you're not just getting a t-shirt. You're joining a community of like-minded women who are proud to wear their beliefs straight on their tees. So whether you're sipping sweet tea on the porch or leading the charge for faith and freedom, do it in a Carry Girl tee. Because life's too short for stiff, boring tees. CarryGirl.com, where faith and freedom meets fashion.
Come listen to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show. Live on select and exclusive Tuesday and Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Rumble channel, SHR Media YouTube channel, X, Twitch, Spreaker, and wherever great conservative podcasts are found. BZ, your conservative Sherpa, guides you through the maelstrom of Democrat, leftist, and globalist lies, chaos, deceit, and betrayal. Raised as a free-range child with dirt, stains, mud, and freedom, BZ broadcasts from North Idaho, comfortably surrounded by actual normal people. Jump into our plush, sumptuous, palatial, and resplendent chat room on rumble.com. Click on live chat to join. Now, with 37% more umbrage and 19% more bulbosity than previous shows, featuring delicious Liberty additives for the best in late-night conservatarian talk radio. BZ reminds you that with great beard comes great responsibility. No chinchillas were harmed, embarrassed, fat-shamed, or the focus of any sarcasm whatsoever in the making of this ad.
What is the Edge of Liberty? News, politics, commentary, sarcasm, alcohol, and high blood pressure. It's as American as a good revolution. So tune in every Monday and Friday at 12 Pacific, 3 p.m. on the East Coast on the SHR Media Network and KLRN Radio. For details, visit www.shrmedia.com.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, here to make sense out of the senseless right here on SHR Media. Conservative media done right. Before we go any further, hit that like button, smash the subscribe, and share the stream like your freedom depends on it, because it just might. Every click helps us punch through big tech censorship, drown out the media noise, and make sure common sense has a fighting chance. This is the Reaver of Common Sense, where the truth lives and the nonsense dies screaming. Oh, we're on to the last segment of the night. God, it blew by real quick tonight. Well, the deep state might finally be facing a reckoning. Did I already talk about this? I can't remember. No. Former CIA director John Brennan, a central architect of the Russia-Trump collusion narrative, is under serious scrutiny after current CIA director John Ratcliffe declassified review revealed glaring inconsistencies in omissions in Brennan's sworn testimony. This isn't just a slap on the wrist or a policy disagreement. We're talking potential perjury, a federal offense, and not over some procedural backroom drama, but over the bedrock of a narrative that consumed the nation for years and wasted billions of your taxpayer money. Brennan wasn't a bystander. He was one of the key players pushing the phony dossier, feeding leaks to the press, and framing a sitting president as a Russian asset. Brennan tried a coup, but failed ultimately. Ratcliffe's review, which pulls from classified intelligence and transcripts the public's never seen, reportedly exposes that Brennan withheld exculpatory evidence and misrepresented key details during congressional testimony. If proven, that's not just a breach of trust, that's criminal. And then, have a good night, Canada Heavy Hauler. I have your package ready to be shipped out for being the 500 subscriber. Damn. Phone's going off left, right, and center. Now, let's not forget the ripple effect. The FISA warrants, the surveillance, the media hysteria, the partisan investigation, the political prosecution, all of it sparked by a lie. A lie Brennan may have told under oath. This moment marks the first real opening for accountability. We're breaking down the entire Russia hoax from its origins in Clinton's opposition research to Brennan's role as an intelligent laundromat that laundered political fiction into official investigations. Now understand, why was that all created? Hillary Clinton was weak on Russia. Her campaign knew it. She knew it. So they created this Russian hoax. So it just seemed like Trump was trying to deflect on her and couldn't use it against her. She is the one that gave Russia a reset button. She is the one that bragged about having dinner with Putin at his private home. She is the one that brokered a deal selling uranium to Russia. Think about that. And then all of a sudden we get Russia. And you know what? I'm going to say it wouldn't have been as bad as if it was just the campaign bullshit. But the fact Democrats ran with it, elected Democrat officials ran with it, lied in their testimony, lied in committees, lied in an impeachment. What name pops up big time with that? Adam Schiff. Because if justice means anything more, it must mean consequences for those who weaponize our intelligence agency against a duly elected president and got caught doing it. I hope the walls aren't just closing in. I hope they're crashing down on the deep state golden boy. And this time it's not a conspiracy theory. It's a reckoning long overdue. And again, the walls are closing in, but this time it's on the people who framed a president. Think about that. They framed a president. And Democrats are now panicking because Trump's tax bill delivers for the working and middle class in ways they never saw coming. This isn't a bill crafted in Ivy League echo chambers. It's a blueprint built for Americans who clock in, pay bills, get taxed to death while the elites, well, they skate by. Cash tips protected. That means wait staffs, bartenders, hospitality workers don't have to fear Uncle Sam skimming from their pockets for once. Overtime, not just preserved, incentivized. The bill strengthens take-home pay for those working extra hours without pushing them into a higher tax bracket. CEO loopholes closed. The sweetheart backdoor write-offs for corporate jet setters are gone. Replaced with a pro-growth framework aimed squarely at revitalizing small businesses and American manufacturing. The media is spinning in circles trying to lie about what's in it, but the numbers don't lie. We got it all. IRS data models, wage impact studies, and side-by-side breakdowns that expose the talking points from the truth. The left says it's a handout to the rich, but if you're earning under $250,000, raising a family, working 2 jobs, and just trying to get by, this tax bill is the best deal you've seen in decades. And the one part I hate is all this talks, and this goes out to Elon Musk. keeps talking about the deficit, and it adds, I mean, the numbers are all over the board. When you don't buy into the one number, they keep increasing it. If you ever notice, Democrats love to do that. But what they don't tell you is the expected increase of revenue from what taxes that are there, that it won't be a $4 trillion or a $5 trillion debt. They don't talk about the income. They only talk about the outgoing. Because the incoming does offset the outgoing. And that's one thing Elon Musk isn't talking about. And you would think as a businessman, he would understand that. And it's seeming more and more like Elon is just throwing a hissy fit because the EV mandate got tossed. I'm for third parties, but what damage will it do creating that? Because you're going to split the conservative vote, Elon. You're going to split the conservative vote, and that is going to elect Democrats. Because if you think you're going to pull away Democrats from the Democrat Party, just because you say, I'm going more in the middle, you're not as smart as I think you are. You're not going to pull them away. What you're going to do is hand this country over to them. Maybe you might be better off funding politicians or people to run in the Republican Party and replace these UDIs. I don't call them rhinos. I call them UDIs. Undocumented Democrat insurgents. He'd be better off doing that, and he'd be more of a champion. It seems he's more upset about losing business and his ego taking a hit. That's from the outside, and I can respect him, but I can disagree with him too. Yeah, Elon learned what politics really is. Pessy. Oh, I hate. Try to ignore those. Delete them. And we've spoken with real Americans, teachers, truckers, electricians, nurses, who are going to see more in their paychecks and less strained out by bloated bureaucracy. It's not a talking point. That's a revolution in your wallet. And here's the kicker. The people who scream the loudest about equality are the same ones furious this plan actually lifts working class Americans without a government dependency check attached to it. I didn't get that, Sean. Media lies are melting in real time. The narrative's collapsing. And when the dust settles, it'll be clear. Under Trump 47, common sense economics just be socialist fantasy with a calculator and a constitution. And remember, if you're making under $250,000 and pay your own bills, the tax code was written with your name on it. Let's see. The resistance, please. They can barely fill a Starbucks now. What was once a social media juggernaut and protest machine has fizzled into a few stragglers waving faded signs outside City Hall. The rallies, smaller than a MAGA tailgate in rural Ohio. Their hashtag, DOA. Collapsing under the weight of their own irrelevance. The energy is gone. The donors are drying up. USAID money is gone. The talking points are stale. Even Hollywood has stopped pretending to care as much. Where are the TikTok montages? Where are the outrage machines? It's becoming a whisper, a shadow of its former shrinky self. Joe Biden's a ghost. Can't find them unless there's ice cream or a teleprompter involved. Kamala Harris has practically vanished. Probably in some gin joint. A VP in name only. More interested in her image consultants than leading. And Gavin Newsom's, well, let's be honest. His presidential hopes have been reduced to Instagram selfies, shampoo endorsements, and trying to mimic Donald Trump. Trump didn't just beat them. He broke them. The spirit of resistance has been replaced with resignation. They lost the cultural war. They lost the narrative. And they're losing the grip on power. They're too tired to fight and too exposed to hide. Meanwhile, the MAGA movement is gaining steam. The rallies are massive. The base is energized. The media can't keep up. This isn't just political momentum. It's cultural dominance. The resistance didn't run out of time. They ran out of lies. And hopefully, we're just getting started. But the one thing that will hurt the Republican Party, that it always has, is shooting itself in the proverbial foot. Remember when the Democrats said they would flee to Canada? Turns out they fled from reality. Oh. The only thing those people on Kick that put those messages get is banned. Coming up at the end of the show, the swamp is wide. The grift is deep. The clock is ticking. We covered everything from DHS bombshells to deep state perjury and woke culture collapse. But now we want to hear from you. What should Trump tackle next? What agency needs to boot? What policy deserves the torch? Let me know over on X at Jersey Joe Talks. Tag me, reply to the show post, or fire off your own hot take. We'll feature the best one in the next episode. You're President Trump for a day. What gets the sledgehammer first? And you just heard what the media won't say and what the regime hopes you'll never notice. From DHS exposing media lies in the middle of a natural disaster, to Brennan's deep state deception finally cracking, to Trump slamming the door on Elon's tech world fantasies, to Superman going woke, a tax code finally written for the people who work. Every story tonight had one thing in common: common sense, buried under layers of noise, spin, and cowardice. The narrative is crumbling, the resistance is collapsing, and the American people are waking up. This isn't just outrage, it's clarity. It's about taking the country back from the ideologicals who hijacked it. And here on Reaver of Common Sense, we do it with fire, facts, and fearlessness. No filter, no script, just raw truth, sharpened and aimed at the heart of the machine. You want more? Right here on SHR Media, PZ, Berserk, Bobcat Saloon, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Coming up next, 1 hour from now, you can catch Edge of Liberty with Sack Edge on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Mission Ready Men with Big E Jackson, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And of course, Reaver of Common Sense, that's me, Jersey Joe, Mondays and Fridays, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Making sense out of the senseless only on SHR Media. Conservative media done right. Stay loud, stay proud, stay relentless. Jersey Joe out.